What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, June 19th, 2024, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 13:24 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Poland and also from North Korea. Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, visited North Korea and signed a strategic cooperation agreement with Kim Jong-un and basically signed a defense pact in that if North Korea were to get attacked or if Russia were to get attacked, they would both help each other. So basically, North Korea is now in some type of a mutual defense pact with Russia. And last night, we were streaming live and covering the Russian warships that were sailing offshore of Miami, just a few miles off of Miami. We had a massive amount of U.S. sub-hunter aviation in the region. And we also had some major breaking news last night that Israel has approved operational plans for the invasion of Lebanon to push Hezbollah away from the border at the very least. But it does look like Israel is about to invade Lebanon and completely destroy Hezbollah, just like they did with Hamas in Gaza. We had the Israeli top brass approve this operational plan, okay? And the White House chief diplomat for Israel, Amos Hochstein, apparently warned Hezbollah and Lebanon that they have until the 24th to move their forces north of the Litani River. And if they don't, then Israel is going to move them, okay, and send their forces in. All right, so the 24th is on Monday. It looks like Monday is the deadline. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I will go live 24/7 if necessary when Israel invades Lebanon. So make sure you have your notifications turned on so when I go live, you get notified. Also, make sure you're following me on Telegram and Twitter. I always post my updates and my streams over there. So if you follow me on Twitter and Telegram, you'll never miss an update or a stream. So the links to my Telegram and Twitter are going to be in the comments down below and also in the description below this video. But we have some major breaking news coming out of Poland. Apparently, Polish officials have checked the emergency water and power supplies in Warsaw's facilities. Warsaw has run an exercise to test the reliability of emergency water and power supplies in the city's shelters, the mayor of the Polish capital said. Rafał Trzaskowski, the mayor of Warsaw, ordered a snap drill of the city's emergency services on Monday just in case. As part of the Warsaw Safety Program, we are checking critical infrastructure. Yesterday, all city services held training exercise at the water supply plant so that we are ready, Trzaskowski told reporters on Tuesday. We are preparing water supplies, preparing warehouses in order to store additional equipment such as generators. We must be prepared for any kind of situation. Trzaskowski also shared photos from the exercise on Twitter. Guys, gold has been on an unstoppable run. It has gone up more than 81% in the last 5 years and almost 20% in the last 12 months. It is happening. Central banks are ditching the dollar and U.S. treasuries and buying more gold. The good news is that it's predicted to go up even more. UBS even said it would go up to $5,000 an ounce. Noble Gold Investments phone has been ringing nonstop. Everyone wants to protect their retirement with gold, and you can do the same. Noble Gold Investments can help you secure some gold to protect your future. From day one, you will work with the same dedicated all-American expert. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced investor, Noble Gold Investments will make sure you get all the help you need. And this month, Noble Gold Investments will give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin if you open a qualified account. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below and in the comments. Check them out. Get that free quarter-ounce gold coin. Reassuring Warsaw residents that it's just a drill, but that the city takes their safety very seriously. Water and power utilities, the police, the firefighters, and the military all work together to test action scenarios in potential crisis situations, according to the mayor. Warsaw has a population of around 1.8 million and the ability to accommodate 3 million people in the subway system, underground parking garages, and other designated shelter spaces. However, it will take some more work to get all of them up to standard, the mayor said. Okay, so this is huge, guys. Okay, the mayor of Warsaw, the Polish military, Polish police, Polish firemen, and the infrastructure companies did this big drill, I guess you could say. It sounds like preparedness. They're preparing their critical infrastructure, water, warehouses to stock things, and they're also preparing underground shelters in case of an attack on Warsaw, potentially a nuclear attack. They say they have subways and underground parking garages that could accommodate as many as 3 million people. Okay, so that is very, very concerning that Poland is going to these lengths, okay, that they're preparing underground parking garages and their subway system and various shelters to accommodate up to 3 million people, which would include not just Warsaw, but the outskirts, okay? So Warsaw and Poland are preparing for basically a nuclear attack on their capital and a bombardment. This is very serious, guys. They're preparing for power outages, for loss of water, loss of critical infrastructure, and this comes just a few days after Denmark told its citizens to keep supplies and iodine pills and to prepare for crises, okay? And we know that already several European countries have told their residents to stock up on iodine and food and water and things like that, okay? So this is extremely serious. It looks like something big is about to go down. And North Korea's Kim Jong-un pledged to unconditionally support Russia in its war on Ukraine. Putin said that the strategic partnership pact signed with North Korea includes a mutual defense clause under which each country agrees to help the other repel external aggression. Okay, so what I think we're going to see here is I think we're going to see North Korea attack South Korea, and it's going to happen at the same time as Russia attacks Ukraine more. And because they have a mutual defense pact, that's going to make America afraid to attack North Korea, and it's going to make South Korea afraid to attack North Korea because they're going to be afraid that Putin is going to use tactical nukes and retaliate somehow. So here we have some video footage of Putin arriving in North Korea. This is when his plane landed. You can see him greeting Kim Jong-un, giving him a hug, and then he receives some flowers from Kim Jong-un. This is huge news, guys. This is historic. This is the first time that Putin has visited North Korea since the year 2000, okay? That is insane. That is like the first year that Putin was actually prime minister. So this is extremely serious. Here we have some footage coming out of Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea, showing all these Russian flags and banners of Putin on every street light. Check this out. So you can see Putin's face there. okay, on every single street light. This is insane, guys. Look at this. So, this is like going back in time to, the 1970s. Look, there's Putin right there on every single street light. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And a new document was drafted which will act as a framework for ties between the two countries going forward. And this is what Putin said. Today, a new fundamental document was prepared which will lay the foundation for our relations for a long-term perspective. Interaction between the two countries is based on the principles of equality and mutual respect for each other's interests. Russia and the DPRK have been linked by a close friendship and good neighborliness for many decades. And then Putin went on to talk about the historic ties between Russia and North Korea. He said the feats of preceding generations are a good foundation for the fostering of ties between Russia and North Korea. For instance, in 1945, Soviet soldiers, together with Korean patriots, fought to liberate Korea from Japanese invaders. Our pilots conducted tens of thousands of combat sorties during the 1950 to 1953 Liberation War. Interesting. That's the Korean War as we know it, but Putin called it the Liberation War. Interesting. Additionally, Russia has for decades been fighting the imposed hegemony policy, the imperialist politics of the United States and its satellites. Wow, imperialist politics. And Putin said that Moscow appreciates Pyongyang's consistent and constant support for Russia's policy, including on Ukraine. He also said that there could be another meeting with Kim Jong-un in Russia soon. And I want to just read to you a summary of some other things that Putin said. So apparently Moscow does not rule out the possibility of a military technical cooperation with North Korea in accordance with the signed agreement. Both Russia and North Korea will pursue independent foreign policies and do not accept the language of blackmail. Moscow and Pyongyang will continue to oppose the practice of sanctions as a tool the West uses to maintain hegemony. The Comprehensive Partnership Agreement provides for mutual assistance in case of aggression against one of the participants. The UN Security Council sanctions regime imposed by the U.S. on North Korea should be reviewed. And here we have a summary of what Kim Jong-un said. He said that the agreement between Russia and North Korea is peaceful and defensive in nature and will accelerate the creation of a new multipolar world. The new agreement between Russia and North Korea includes the development of cooperations between the two countries, including in the military sphere. Russia is the most honest friend and ally for North Korea, and Putin is the dearest friend of the Korean people. And the Russian delegation to North Korea included Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov, Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, Defense Minister Andrei Belousov and his deputy for armaments, Alexei Krivoruchko, Minister of Natural Resources and Environment, Alexander Kozlov, Minister of Health, Mikhail Murashko, Minister of Transport, Roman Starovoit, Head of Roscosmos, Yuri Borisov, Head of Russian Railways, Oleg Belozerov, and Governor of Primorsky Krai, Oleg Kozhemyako. Okay, so some very high-profile figures in the Russian government. And here we have some video footage of Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un signing this agreement here. Okay, and this allows for mutual assistance in the case of aggression. Okay, so here's Kim Jong-un's daughter, I believe. Or no, that's his wife. I'm sorry. That's his wife there. And actually, you can see Sergei Lavrov over here. So we have all kinds of high-profile figures from the Russian government in North Korea when Putin visited. Okay, this is very serious. And I want to remind you guys, Jens Stoltenberg slipped up the other day talking about the fighter jets that are going to Ukraine, and he said that NATO pilots will be flying these fighter jets that are going to Ukraine. Let me just play this for you.
The fact that they're now delivering F-16s, of course, it will create a future Ukrainian Air Force that will be NATO interoperable. NATO planes, NATO pilots, NATO-trained pilots, interoperable. NATO planes, NATO pilots, NATO-trained pilots, interoperable. NATO planes, NATO pilots, NATO-trained pilots.
So he says NATO planes, NATO pilots, and then he catches himself and says NATO-trained pilots. Okay? And here's a picture of Kim Jong-un and his delegation with Putin and his delegation. Okay, so this was a historic meeting, absolutely insane. We also had a Russian Ministry for Emergency Situations plane fly to Minsk last night. This is very concerning, guys, okay, for a Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations plane to fly to Minsk in the middle of the night means something is going on. And here we have some P-8 Poseidon sub-hunters that were active this afternoon off the coast of Florida, keeping an eye on the Russian warships here and the Russian subs. And here we have another P-8 Poseidon that was active in this area earlier this morning and late last night. We had a massive amount of reconnaissance over Poland and the Baltic Sea. Check this out, guys. Here we have 2 U.S. reconnaissance planes flying around Kaliningrad. We have a German reconnaissance plane looping in the Baltic Sea. We have 2 Swedish reconnaissance planes here, one in northern Poland and also in the Baltic. And then we have one over here. And then we also have a P-8 Poseidon at the same time. So this is just insane, guys. I've never seen anything like this before in this area. Look at how they're focusing so much on Kaliningrad, guys. 6 reconnaissance planes near Kaliningrad and around Kaliningrad. That is very, very concerning. And then here we have another reconnaissance plane that went all the way up to Estonia. And what's interesting is it was looping near Narva. And Narva is a city with a large Russian-speaking population. And many people believe that this would be Russia's first target in an attack on the Baltics. And then there was also a Polish AWACS plane flying along the Polish border with Kaliningrad. Okay, so something is brewing here, guys. I'm telling you, I think North Korea was Putin's last stop before he does something big. Now, he's going to be going to Vietnam. He's actually on his way right now to Vietnam. But as far as like major players go, he already went to China, then he went to Belarus, then he went to North Korea, signed a mutual assistance pact with North Korea, defense assistance. He's doing the tactical nuclear drills with Belarus, which is basically just a deployment. We have some credible sources saying that Russia is massing forces near the capital of Ukraine again and near Kharkiv. So this is serious, guys. Something big is about to go down. Putin is going to make his big move very, very soon. And remember what the Serbian president said last week. I shared the video of him saying that we have about 3 to 4 months before World War III breaks out. He said September, October, but it could happen sooner. So get prepared, guys. Here we have a Canadian military cargo plane that flew from Quebec to Latvia, dropping off some military equipment to Latvia, funneling in equipment before Russia invades. Here we have a Russian Special Flight Squadron plane that took off from Tel Aviv last night, late last night. Very unusual. And this could potentially be an evacuation of diplomats before the big war in Lebanon, which is going to start next week. And we have credible sources reporting that Amos Hochstein's ultimatum to Lebanon about Hezbollah was crystal clear and delivered, and that Hezbollah has until the 24th to move north of the Litani River, or else Israel will move them. And Australia has become the first country to ration food to prepare for the bird flu pandemic. Apparently, the state of Victoria has ordered farms to go on lockdown, culled millions of chickens, and banned consumers from purchasing eggs. And the Philippines has reported that the Chinese Coast Guard boarded one of its naval vessels today, and this comes just 2 days after a Filipino soldier was severely injured in a maritime confrontation with the Chinese Coast Guard. The Philippine defense minister ordered his military to enforce the Philippines' maritime borders without compromise over the weekend. And here we have some intense video footage showing the Chinese Coast Guard and looks like the Philippine Coast Guard in some kind of a confrontation here. You can see them ramming each other. Look how close they are. This is absolutely insane, guys. Look at this. So tensions are very high in the South China Sea. And at the NATO summit this year, which is going to be July 9th through July 11th, the summit will focus on military assistance to Ukraine, according to Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who said that more than 20 countries will enter into bilateral security agreements with Ukraine. He said if Putin thinks he can outlive Ukraine or any of us, he is mistaken. And Estonia is ready to talk about sending Estonian troops to Ukraine. This is what the ambassador of Estonia said in Ukraine today. And apparently Jake Sullivan said that the U.S. agreement with Ukraine about using American weapons on Russian territory allows Ukraine to use U.S. weapons anywhere that Russian forces are coming across the border from the Russian side to the Ukrainian side to try to take additional Ukrainian territory. Okay, so it's not just in the Kharkiv Oblast, and he specifically said it could extend into the Sumy region as well, but basically anywhere that Russian forces are firing from, whether it's in Russian territory, whether it's in occupied Ukrainian territory, doesn't matter. He said that the agreement is that Ukraine can use American weapons to neutralize them. Okay, so this is a huge escalation. And here we have Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu accusing the United States of withholding weapons and ammunition from Israel. Listen to this.
When Secretary Blinken was recently here in Israel, we had a candid conversation. I said I deeply appreciated the support the U.S. has given Israel from the beginning of the war. But I also said something else. I said it's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. Secretary Blinken assured me that the administration is working day and night to remove these bottlenecks. I certainly hope that's the case. It should be the case. During World War II, Churchill told the United States, give us the tools, we'll do the job. And I say, give us the tools and we'll finish the job a lot faster.
Wow. So despicable, guys. The Biden administration is refusing to give Israel the weapons it needs to deal with Hamas and Hezbollah. So this is just absolutely despicable, guys. We are turning our back on our biggest ally, Israel. And F-16s will be based inside of Ukraine. The plan is to put the F-16s in Ukraine. And the bilateral security agreement that Biden signed with Zelensky reinforced this point. So it looks like the F-16s going to Ukraine will be going to Ukraine and not Romania and Poland. That's what the U.S. is claiming. And here we have live video footage from Texas. This is from St. Augustine Beach. You can see the ocean here looking very angry, and that's because we have a tropical storm about to make landfall just south of Texas in northeastern Mexico. And this is the first named storm of the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, Tropical Storm Alberto. It's expected to have peak winds of 45 miles per hour. Its minimum central pressure as of the latest Hurricane Hunters update is at 995 millibars, so it's not super strong. But this is very impressive for this early in the hurricane season to already have something affecting the U.S. And this is going to bring several inches of rain and up to 3 feet of storm surge along the Texas Gulf Coast. But you can see the surf here looking pretty serious, okay? And I want to just show you guys all these rain bands going into Texas right now. Look at all this rain, guys. Texas is going to get pounded. They might get as much as 15 inches of rain in some areas, but it looks like Corpus Christi is going to get the most. And we do have heat advisories up for the entire Northeast and much of the Midwest. So avoid any strenuous outdoor activities today. If you do have to work outside, then do so in the evening or in the morning. And I want to just show you guys some buoy footage. This is coming from the Gulf of Mexico, close to where Tropical Storm Alberto is, and you can see the sea is looking pretty angry. You can see some white caps there, some pretty large waves from this buoy. Check that out. I would not want to be stuck out there in a raft or something. And here's another picture from another buoy in the Gulf. Look at how angry the sea looks, and look at how dark it is. Absolutely insane. You can see that the waves must be really large because these pictures are tilted. So when this buoy was taking the pictures, it was probably tilting because of the sea moving, okay? And then here we have a picture on the backside of Tropical Storm Alberto, and you can actually see the back of the system here. The sea looks super calm, and then you can see the clouds there in the horizon. So very interesting. And I want to show you guys the latest forecast cone. You can see the landfall is going to be pretty far south of Texas, but that doesn't matter because the rain bands are going to be extending very far out from the center of the storm. And here you can see the latest rainfall forecast. You can see a widespread area of several inches of rain across southern Texas. We had a frost this morning in western North Dakota. This has to be some kind of a record. I've never heard of a frost this late in June, okay? Almost the first day of summer, and there's a frost in western North Dakota. You can see some of these temperatures here got down into the low 30s. Absolutely insane. And this is a sign that we are going to have a very cold winter this year, and that we're heading for a mini ice age due to the grand solar minimum. And here we have some video footage coming out of Montana State University. Some of the college kids there playing football in the snow on June the 18th. Absolutely insane. So that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later tonight with more breaking news. I'll probably go live. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell icon down below so you get notified. And until later, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. Culinary out. And this video was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is running a special discount for viewers of the NYPrepper channel. They're offering 25% off of their 4-week emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link in the description below this video, which is preparewithnyprepper.com. This is a 4-week emergency food supply, which has a 25-year shelf life, and it includes breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, and drinks. All of this food is packed into 2 rugged, watertight buckets, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. And if you have to bug out, you can easily take your food with you. Free shipping is included. The normal price, $240, and they're knocking it down to $180, and that's with shipping included. So to get the deal, use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. It's in the description below this video.